Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cowboy Crunk coming to you from Kabul, Afghanistan, here to give you update, breaking news, and my scenarios on some of the uh, upcoming things here in preseason and possible trades and how this draft for 2017 that we just had 2018 draft is going to work out. Um, the big thing on this video, I want to go over the Dallas Cowboy quarterback roster and how moves could be made, why we have the current roster we have, why we're carrying three quarterbacks, why last year we only carried two when we had a three quarterbacks that the coaching staff actually really liked. Hey, what's up, D. Will? How you doing, brother? Yeah, Jaylon Smith reminds me of a smaller Ray Lewis, and I think with learning from Sean Lee. That guy, I think, could play smarter than Ray Lewis. He may not be as strong or as physical as Ray, of course, but yeah, he looks like he's coming along well, man. I expect big things out of him this season. My last video was actually on Jaylon Smith and his progress. All right, guys, I'm going to move through with the video. This is just a scenario I'm thinking. You guys want to take a gander, listen to this for a few minutes. We carried three quarterbacks, or we got three quarterbacks this year. Last year we only carried two. We had Kellen Moore on the roster. Yeah, I saw the Scarborough video. That's sick, bro. And that wasn't, he was repping it out. I used to do quite a bit of powerlifting and weightlifting, and I could squat 405, but not for reps like that. That's solid. Anyways, I'm gonna move forward. Kellen Moore was a big time pickup for us, or not pickup for us, a big time quarterback for the coaching staff. Those guys really liked him, and for some reason, Cooper Rush played well in the preseason. They moved him up, and they moved Kellen Moore off the team to the coaching staff. So why did we pick up another quarterback this year in the draft when the Cowboys were in love with Cooper Rush because they moved him ahead of Kellen Moore and basically cut him? And we got Dak Prescott, who really shows an ability to stay off the injured list. My beliefs are, I think those quarterbacks, one of those, are similar to what New England has done. New England has taken their quarterback staff and traded Garoppolo and got a very good trade pick for him. We have the ability to do that now if one of these two quarterbacks looks good in preseason. And as you know, we have a very quarterback-friendly offense. Both of those guys are going to show out in preseason. Dak Prescott's going to have to get his time because we have new receivers. He's going to have to gel with the receivers. Those kind of things are going to have to work. But Dak Prescott will get his time. Kellen Moore, Cooper Rush is going to look great, I think. Mike White is expected to look great. That's going to give us good trade bait going into the second, third game of the season. That trade bait, to me, is going to Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks I know we've been talking about Earl Thomas for a while. I think if you look at the Seattle Seahawks depth roster, I think Dak's going to have an amazing year. Good call, D. Will. I think if you look at Seattle Seahawks depth roster, let me show you their quarterbacks. They have Austin Davis. He was undrafted in 2012. He's thrown since 2012 13 interceptions and 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for 6 yards. Horrible. He's done nothing for the team. Alex Mago, they drafted this year in the 7th round. Why would they wait to the 7th round when their leading rusher? Yeah, he definitely reminds me of Earl Campbell. Yeah, he could be solid. I think he could push for that second spot this year, halfway through the season, if he gets some reps. But I don't see us holding three quarterbacks. And if we put him on the practice squad, Rush or White, one of those guys are going to get picked up. I think that's good trade bait for Earl Thomas. I want to go back and look at the 2016 draft. We were on the board. If you guys have watched All or Nothing, if you guys chime in, if you guys have watched All or Nothing, I've watched it like 3 times. Mike White has a huge arm. Both of our quarterbacks, I think, are going to play great in preseason, and we can't carry 3 quarterbacks. That's going to give us a quarterback is much more trade value than anyone else on the roster, than a defensive line, than an edge rusher, than a running back, than a safety. I got 2 scenarios: 2016 draft and 2017 draft and the 2018 draft we just had. Check this out. We were waiting on Paxton Lynch. He was 2 picks ahead of us. They were thinking about taking him. And if you watch All or Nothing, they paused and they said, if Denver takes him, we still got Dak Prescott. And they took him in the 4th round. That was like a whole 80 picks later. They waited 80 picks because they were patient and they were patient, and we got Dak Prescott. An amazing, yes, 2000 best draft class ever. I think we've got a good chance this year of also having a great draft class. Stephen Smith, I think, is brilliant, brother. I mean, I'm telling you, that guy, you watch him in the war room, everyone turned to him and got his decision on that call for Paxton Lynch. And they said, let's wait and see. If they don't take him, we'll take Paxton Lynch. And we got lucky. Denver Broncos got Paxton Lynch. He went to Denver, where he's in a quarterback-driven offense with John Elway there to teach him and show him everything, and still he didn't succeed. We got Dak Prescott in the 4th round, and it looks like Air McNair also reminds me of Donovan McNabb. Also reminds me of a better Russell Wilson, which is what I'm going to now. Russell Wilson led the Seattle Seahawks in rushing. They had no line, no running back. He basically took the snap, dropped back, and ran around like a chicken with his head cut off. And that happened because of their offensive line. They had no backup quarterback. He played basically like he was in a war zone all year. I'm going to move to the next draft, 2018 draft, the draft we were just at. I was there with Joe Boo, represent my homeboy. We took our RVs up there. I came from Afghanistan all the way to Houston, drove my RV up. We set up the draft. We had an amazing time. You guys watch the video. Please subscribe to the video so I can get more of these videos out. But at the draft, we were sitting at 19. Everybody's sitting around. Darwin James is still there. 17th pick is coming. There's 2 players we were looking at in the draft, the Dallas Cowboys. Vita Vea and Darwin James. Everybody was bloodthirsty for those 2 guys. Everybody had them on their list. And we were thinking they're going to move up. They're going to move up. You know, we're out there at the tailgate and we're thinking this is going to happen. We got Darwin James. He's sitting at 17. It'll be cheap for us to move up. Let's move up and get him. That's a safety, which we really, really needed. And of course, we needed a backup for Sean Lee. I think that probably wasn't as important. But why did we not make that move? Darwin James was there. He was taken at 17. Vita Vea was taken at 12 by Tampa Bay. And we took Leighton Vander Esch. I'm going to tell you, people packed up and left and Vita Vea, what is this? I mean, there were some upset people. I think it's going to work out. And I think the reason they didn't move up for Darwin James, I think, of course, negotiations were thinking in the 2nd round we might get Earl Thomas, take that trade. We didn't make the trade. It didn't happen. But I know that's still in the works. And I think the big sell on that is Seattle is in a horrible position at quarterback, and we are in an outstanding position at quarterback. Dak Prescott is a thick, big bone guy. You look at his wrist, his ankles, he is solid. Yeah, Mark Holmes does a lot of updates. Me and him talk pretty much every day. And he's the one kind of got me started. He's kind of my mentor. I like watching the guy. I also love watching Bosch. Bosch is really good, and Okoye. Okoye has a pitch on Earl Thomas. He says we don't need him, but I think we're just too thin there. I think we got 3 decent. Law Nation, yeah, Law Nation is great too. I keep up with all those guys, and I'm just getting my channel started. Once I get home, I'll have all my things there, my trophies, my Super Bowl rings, my Super Bowl trophies, my office, my pictures, my everything, and it'll look a little better. Right now, guys, I'm starting this up in Afghanistan, so I appreciate it. Like I said, this is my scenario on it. It's the same thing New England did with Garoppolo. They drafted a quarterback when they had a good backup. They kept him. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was an innovator. He's actually the one that created the point system for the draft. He's the one that took every player and put a point system on them. So when you did a trade, a second round, a third round, and a fourth round pick, and you wanted to trade it for a current player, it had a point value system. Or if you wanted to trade a second and a third round for a fifth round, there was a point evaluation system. And Jimmy Johnson created that. And it's used by every player now in the NFL. So just getting this video out, guys. That's my scenario. I think Earl Thomas is coming. I think it's going to happen a few different ways. I've also been watching his Instagram page consistently. And bro, there's people on there from Seattle. 90% of the posts on there from Cowboy Nation, from the Cowboys fans trying to get Earl Thomas to come. I really think he'd be an asset to the team. I think he would coach those guys up. He already fits in the system. He doesn't have to. Produce like that. Exactly. Xavier Woods. Everybody's high on Xavier Woods. So imagine Xavier Woods and Earl Thomas as your free and your strong safeties. And you've got Frazier, who's a good hitter, and you got Heath, who's a playmaker. Heath makes plays, he does. But if you got Xavier Woods, that automatic Earl Thomas is your number one. I think Xavier Woods is your number two. Heath is your number three. And then you got Kayvon Frazier, who's awesome on special teams. So you use him on special teams. You don't want that your special team players in your main roster. And that's another reason I'm not big on this 3 quarterback thing. 3 quarterbacks takes away a player off your special teams or a specialty player that you don't use all the time. But I want to make this video as short as possible, guys. 12 minutes, 30 seconds already. Hey, I appreciate it, D-Well. Hey, please like the page. I'm going to start putting out some more videos. I like going live. Once we get more people, we'll get some interaction on here, and we'll have fans and more conversation and more chat. Thanks, guys. Cowboy Crunk signing out.